I'm reading more Codependents No More, and I want to share some more quotes with you guys because it's so good. We're so careful to see that no one gets hurt. No one, that is, but ourselves. Codependents are caretakers, rescuers. They rescue, then they persecute, and then they end up victimized. We are the rescuers, the enablers. We are the great godmothers or godfathers of the entire world. We not only meet people's needs, we anticipate them. We fix, nurture, and fuss over others. We rescue people from their responsibilities. We take care of people's responsibilities for them. Later, we get mad at them for what we've done. Then we feel used and sorry for ourselves. That is the pattern, the triangle. Many codependents at some time in their lives were true victims of someone's abuse, neglect, abandonment, alcoholism, or any number of situations that can victimize people. We were, at some time, truly helpless to protect ourselves or solve our problems. Something came our way, something we didn't ask for, and it hurt us terribly. That is sad, truly sad. But an even sadder fact is that many of us codependents begin to see ourselves as victims. Our painful history repeats itself. As caretakers, we allow people to victimize us. We participate in our own victimization by perpetually rescuing people. Rescuing or caretaking is not an act of love. The drama triangle is a hate triangle. It fosters and maintains self-hate, and it hinders our feelings for other people. I realized that I spent most of my waking moments flipping around the jagged edges of this triangle, taking responsibility for anybody and everybody besides myself. I can usually spot a codependent within the first 5 minutes of meeting or talking. He or she will either offer me unrequested help, or the person will keep talking to me, although he or she is obviously uncomfortable and wants to discontinue the conversation. The person begins the relationship by taking responsibility for me and not taking responsibility for him or herself. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a conversation with somebody where I kept talking when I didn't want to because I was worried I was going to hurt their feelings. I was taking responsibility for their feelings and not my own. Sometimes codependents may become so locked in a caretaker role that we feel dismayed or rejected when we can't caretake or rescue someone, when someone refuses to be helped. Many of us are convinced that rescuing is a charitable deed. We may even think it cruel or heartless to do something as cold-blooded as allowing a person to work through or face a legitimate feeling, or suffer a consequence. Sometimes we become sick of feeling responsible for so much that we reject all responsibility and become totally irresponsible. However, at the heart of most rescues is a demon, low self-worth. We rescue because we don't feel good about ourselves. I rescue less the better I feel about myself, that's true. As my self-esteem has improved, as I've learned to love myself more, I've felt the need to rescue less. So I can see a direct correlation with that in real time. Some of us learned to be caretakers when we were children. Perhaps we were almost forced to as a result of living with an alcoholic parent or some other family problem. That was me. I was forced to become a caretaker against my will, and then I did feel resentful for it. So, true. It talks about how in the Bible there's a story about Mary and Martha, and Mary sat and talked to Jesus, and Martha was cleaning, and Martha was getting mad because Mary wasn't cleaning anything, and was just enjoying herself talking to Jesus. And Jesus said, don't be mad. Mary did the right thing. She knows what's important. And in this book it says, they also believe there's a message here about taking responsibility for our choices, doing what we want to be doing, and realizing how we become angry when we don't. Maybe Mary's choice was right because she acted as she wanted to. Jesus helped many people, but he was honest and straightforward about it. He didn't persecute people after he helped them, and he asked them what they wanted from him. Sometimes he asked why, too. He held people responsible for their behavior. Caring about people and giving are good, desirable qualities, something we need to do. But many codependents have misinterpreted this suggestion to give until it hurts. We continue giving long after it hurts, usually until we're doubled over in pain. God is in each of us and speaks to each of us. If we absolutely can't feel good about something we're doing, then we shouldn't do it, no matter how charitable it seems. We also shouldn't do things for others that they ought to and are capable of doing for themselves. Other people aren't helpless, neither are we. There is a thin line between helping and hurting people, between beneficial giving and destructive giving. We can learn to make that distinction. Caretaking is closely associated with martyrdom and people-pleasing. Martyrs screw things up. We need to keep sacrificing our happiness as well as others for the good of some unknown cause that doesn't demand sacrifice. People-pleasers lie. As caretakers, we don't take care of ourselves. We can learn to recognize a rescue. Refuse to rescue. Refuse to let people rescue us. take responsibility for ourselves, and let others do the same. Whether we change our attitudes, our circumstances, our behavior, or our minds, the kindest thing we can do is remove the victims, ourselves. And then there's like a journaling activity where it tells you to, on a sheet of paper, detail all the things you consider your responsibilities. Do this for your participation at work, with children, with friends, and with the spouse or lover. Now list, detail by detail, what responsibilities belong to the other people in your life. If any responsibilities are shared, list what percentage you think is appropriate for each person. For instance, if your spouse is working and you've chosen to be a homemaker and work part-time, list what percentage of the final responsibilities you assume, and what percentage of the household chores he or she assumes. You may be surprised how much inappropriate responsibility you've taken on and how little you've allowed others to assume. You may also find that you've been busy with other people's responsibilities and you've been neglecting some of your true responsibilities. And then become familiar with the Karpman drama triangle and how you go through the process in your life. When you find yourself rescuing, watch for the role and mood shifts. When you catch yourself feeling resentful or used, figure out how you rescued. Practice non-rescuing behaviors. Say no when you want to say no. Do things you want to do. Refuse to guess what people want and need. Instead, insist that others ask you directly for what they want and need from you. Begin asking directly for what you want and need. Refuse to assume other people's responsibilities. When you initially stop taking care of people who are used to having you take care of them, they may become angry or frustrated. You've changed the system, rocked the boat. It means more work for them, and they can't use you anymore. Explain to them what you're doing, and allow them to be responsible for their feelings. They may thank you for it later. They may even surprise you. Sometimes the people we thought least able to take care of themselves can when we stop taking care of them. Good stuff. Get this book. It's linked in my bio at the top of all my other life-changing books. So get it. Love you.